These notes are on the idea of percent growth or decrease, and this is what you explored in section 1.7. First, just some meanings. 30% growth means you are increasing by 30% each time, meaning your amount in the end should be more each time. 80% decrease means you're decreasing by 80% each time. And again, that should mean that you are getting smaller and smaller amounts. So let's look at an example that will help us see. We're going to do two examples. So example 1. Actually, let's do that right there. So example 1. We're going to fill in the table and find the recursive and explicit equations. And the situation here is that you have $8, but you want more, so you convince your parents to give you 5% more each day. So our table is going to be the number of days and the amount of money. So we can say on day 0, before you have made this deal with your parents, you have $8. Now, day 1, you're going to want to increase how much you have, so you're going to want to get 5% of what your parents have given you. And just a little note here, remember that when we actually compute 5%, that we have to write that as a decimal, and that as a decimal is 0.05. So I'm going to take 5% of 8, but I'm going to add that to 8. Because I want to make more. I'm keeping how much I started with, and I'm adding more each time. So I take out my lovely calculator, and I find that 0.05 times 8 is 0.4, which equals 8.4. So now I have $8.40. So on day 2, this time I'm keeping my $8.40, but I'm also doing this whole 5% on top of that. So I have 0.05 of $8.40, but I'm keeping the $8.40 I already had. I'm not giving that amount away. So that gets me 42 cents. And then I still have my $8.40, which gives me a total of $8.82. On day 3, again, I want 5% of what I currently have, which is $8.82, plus I'm keeping my $8.82. I'm not giving that money away. When I compute all of that, I end up with 44 and a little bit more cents, and I still have my $8.82, which gets me $9.26 and a little bit more. As you can see, our work is getting bigger and longer each time here. Let's do one more. Let's say we've got day 4. So on day 4, again, I'm doing 5% of my new total, My new total is $9.26 and a little bit more. And I still have my $9.26 and a little bit more. Again, I take out my calculator. I got 46 cents and a little bit more, plus my $9.26 and a little bit more. And when I add that, I get $9.67 and a little bit more. So I'd rather not continue this process of filling in this table over and over and over again. So I want to sort of see what my pattern is here, because I'd like to get some formulas. So I'm going to look back and I'm going to say, well, I know I'm multiplying stuff here. You can see that multiplication happening. So I'm thinking that this is possibly a geometric sequence. And so I'm going to try to figure out what would I multiply 8 by to get my 8.4, and my 8.4 to get my 8.82, and 8.82 to get 9.261, etc. And I'm going to want to check that it holds the whole time. Well, I know I can write an equation. I can say that 8 times a common ratio equals 8.4. And when I divide both sides by 8, I find that R equals 1.05. So now I'm going to check, and I want to find out, does 8.4 times 1.05 equal 8.82? And yes, it does. I can check some more. Does 8.82 times 1.05 equal 9.261? Yes, it does. And that pattern continues. So I've now figured out my R, which means now I can write my recursive and explicit formulas. I start on day 0 having 8. Every additional day, I multiply by 1.05. For my explicit, I start with 8, and I multiply each day. So that should be x by 1.05. And multiplying over and over again means I have an exponential equation. Our second example is actually going to sort of ask us to go not an increase but a decrease. So I'm going to use the same directions, but this time I'm saying that you have $458, but you decide to give away 20% each week to your little sister. You're a very generous sibling. So again, I have my table. I have weeks, and I have amount of money. And in week 0, I started with $458. Again, remember that 20%, when I use it in math formulas, I have to rewrite that as a decimal, so it's 0.2. So, week 1. Week 1, I want to take 20% of what I started with, but I want to take that away from what I started with. So taking it away means I'm going to subtract it from 458. When I compute that, I find that I'm going to just rewrite this as the 458 first, that 20% of the 458 means on my first week, I hand over $91.60 to my sister. Wow.